At the Renaissance Fair, I met a gypsy. We only briefly talked before she said that she had to be protected just to be in my presence. She eventually showed me some pics she took with spirits in them, so after I left, I went outside and took my own pictures, and now I can see them too. She enlightened me. She told me that, quote, there are some angry motherfucking spirits following me around, end quote, and eventually yelled at me again before making me leave the store. She told me that each time I fuck, a cord is opened up and bad things enter me. I believe her to a large extent, but not everything, or at least not yet. The gypsy lady said that I had needed to talk to someone who wasn't around, so I called my mom afterwards and asked if she was a gypsy too. They told me at the fair that I was, so I wasn't really that surprised when my mom said yes. I think she's a weak one though, as in not fully evolved, but at least now I know where I get it from. Come to think of it, everyone seems to see and feel my bad spirits. Perhaps that's why no one wants to be around me. I only see shadow people. Here's a small list of what I believe could actually be some really good conversation starters. Are you really settled and comfortable in life? Do you match your lover on all levels? What do you dress as for Halloween? What is your favorite holiday? What personal perks do you get from doing your job? If you have kids, is it just because you wanted to settle down and hand your life over to someone else? I started listening to music again while soul searching, and I'm beginning to wonder if my bad spirits are a bad influence on others as well. A lot of people have a hard time being around me. Maybe they could sense them too. But at the same time, I also feel that my bad spirits are what's been keeping me alive, and if I went good, I'd finally die. Maybe I'm the devil and I need them. It's not that I'm overcome by bad thoughts. I just welcome and enjoy naughty things. Not vindictive or spiteful, just dark. I'm partly scared to explore my spirituality because my original religion left such a bad impression. But having nothing to believe in leaves me unguided, and that might be contributing to my recklessness. The Renaissance Fair. Every year, I usually find a way to weasel my way in past closing time, and on this particular year, I happened into a store selling some pretty neat clothes, which sparked a conversation between me and the lady behind the counter. Our talk lasted well into the dark. She kind of scared me at first. She hadn't read my tarot cards or anything, but still came out of the blue, verbally attacking me for the way I was living my life. Her eyes even lit up as she carried on about how the shit I was doing to myself was very bad. And I never even told her a damn thing about what I do. I wasn't dressed like a slut or anything, nor was I talking on my phone about such things. This lady really, honestly, came out of left field and let me have it. I was a little taken aback by all this, so of course after she was done reprimanding me, I confirmed her assumptions. She then began lecturing me about what happens every time I fucked, and it didn't necessarily have to be for money. Then we somehow got to talking about what goes on behind the veil, so she decided to show me some pictures that she usually doesn't show people. They were photos of spirits that she'd caught on film, which was all fine and dandy, until she showed me these other pictures containing spirit orbs. This was something completely different from her first photos, completely undeniable. These were the pictures that got me, as I had taken hundreds of photos throughout my time, and not once did I ever capture one of these spirit orbs before. I even went back and looked through every single picture I'd ever taken, and there's not a single one. However, now, that was no longer the case. Only after she showed me these photos did I, for the first time, catch several of these floating mysteries of my own. Just like that, right there in the parking lot and all by my lonesome. Mind you, this was the same camera I've been using since before Krista was just another crazy dream. Nothing had changed except my ability to see these entities. The weird thing about them, they're not even visible to the naked eye, nor can you see them on the camera screen. They only appear once the picture is taken. I did some research to see what this phenomenon might be. A simple Google scan of spirit orb pics will show you what I'm talking about. Some accept them while others try to blame suspended dust and water. Either way, it was the creepiest confirmation I could have ever received after talking to this woman. She furthered my spiritual awakening and greatly helped my understanding concerning the powers of perception. Say you and I are looking at a picture together. I can actually turn off my own perception, my senses, everything that allows me to take in my environmental surroundings on my own. Then I wait for a feeling or for something to stand out. I quickly realized that as long as my own perception was turned off and I wasn't focusing on anything in particular, that which then randomly becomes interesting to me is actually what the person I'm sharing the experience is focused on. Then I'll usually verbally pick these things out to the other person while saying something like, "You're looking at that tree," or maybe I'd see not just the tree, but the leaves and specifically, and then not just the leaves, but the few red leaves. It was always very detailed, and this somehow allowed me into another person's brain so that I could see through their eyes. And I'd see not just a broad view of their spectrum, but was able to precisely detect where their focus was. I'm not quite sure what this ability could be good for, but it did give me the sensation that I was reading another person's mind. All I know is that as long as a person is stopped in thought or focused on something in particular, I was generally able to sneak into their subconscious and see for myself what was so interesting. I could even describe how doing this looks through my eyes. If you're familiar with stereograms, those 3D pictures that if you stare at long enough, they form a specific shape, well, it looks through my eyes just like the stereogram does when it finally pops out at you. The trick is to avoid focusing on anything, yet remain calm and relaxed while waiting for something to stand out at you. The key to unlocking this power is to simply learn how to decipher between what you're focusing on due to your own will and interest, from that which you're visually attracted to, but aren't quite sure why. This talent of mine would later become invaluable when playing chess, as I'd always use it to see what the other person was planning. I deciphered my focus from the other person's by simply watching to see which of their pieces kinda lit up as they contemplated moving them. It was as if I'd just taken the red pill, and things were never going to be the same.